Hey Elonites, welcome to the Tesla space where we share the latest news, rumors, and insights into all things Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk. Flying cars. As a children growing up in the 80s and 90s, we were inundated with this fantastic idea of futuristic cars that took off into the air and navigated through traffic in the sky. I mean, Blade Runner, Back to the Future Part 2, The Fifth Element, The Jetsons. The expectation was made that the 21st century would be the era of the flying car and a bunch of other crazy things like aliens, lasers, robots. That's all stuff I can live without, but it's 2021 and I want my damn flying car. So where are they at? Well, it's a bit of a tricky subject. Something resembling a flying car is definitely on the way, but what form it takes and what purpose it's going to serve is still a bit up in the air. Let's talk about it. The main reason we are looking into this flying car idea right now is because GM dropped a preview of their crazy futuristic flying machine concept during their recent keynote presentation at CES 2021. GM focused their presentation mostly on the new EV tech that they are going to be pushing out over the coming years, and it's some pretty nice stuff. Definitely something we could do a whole video talking about, but one of the show-stopping points in their presentation was when they casually unveiled the concept for a Cadillac-branded electric eVOTL drone. That stands for vertical takeoff and landing, and this is the technology that is the heart of the modern day flying car vision. In a world where advances in electric and autonomous technology make personal air travel possible, the VTOL will be the vehicle of choice. It's not so much a car as it is a big-ass drone, pretty much a DJI Phantom that you can ride in, an electric helicopter that can pilot itself and will be used to ferry ultra-rich CEOs from the top of one skyscraper to another. And I know it's still a very far cry from what we were imagining in Back to the Future Part 2, but this is where we're at right now. This is a very new and radical kind of technology, much like the very first electric cars were 15 years ago. Remember the process that Elon took when he was building Tesla from the ground up, starting with an expensive niche sports car that was mostly a toy for rich dudes and not a practical consumer vehicle. But Tesla used the initial chunk of cash from selling roadsters to build cars that were practical, though still not cheap. And they kept reinvesting until they could release the Model 3. And now Teslas are pretty common. I see other Model 3 owners cruising around my city pretty much every day. The point is that these things take time. Just because flying cars might exist soon, that doesn't mean regular schmucks like ourselves will be riding in them. That's not coming for a very long time. The major players in the eVTOL game are companies that already have a background in either building drones or helicopters, which makes sense. As far as I can tell, GM is the only automotive company that is seriously looking at this technology space right now. Switching from cars to flying machines is a pretty major pivot, and it's going to be very expensive. Existing drone companies like China's Ehong, who make fleets of small drones for aerial light shows, like the display that followed Joe Biden's presidential victory speech, these kinds of companies are working on scaling up the size of their existing product to a point where they can safely carry human passengers, and they've already been able to accomplish successful tests with people inside their vehicles. And of course, that leads to a burning question for Tesla fans. As the leaders in EV battery technology and autonomous vehicles, will Tesla be jumping into the flying car market? I mean, probably not. It's doubtful, at least. Yes, Elon has absolutely talked about his idea for a vertical takeoff and landing electric plane, but he's always approached that idea in a way that makes it sound like his product would be a replacement for helicopters and private jets, not so much an urban transport solution. He's more into disrupting existing markets than he is creating whole new ones. When Elon was talking about flying machines on an episode of the Hyperchange podcast, he got into just how logistically challenging it would be from a production and regulation standpoint to actually get an aerial vehicle to market. He basically said that even if Tesla could find the right engineers to lead the project, which would be very difficult, that it would mean diverting attention away from other things that they are working on right now. There just aren't enough resources at Tesla to go off on a tangent and start building flying car prototypes. They've got to stick to the path that they are on. So no flying Teslas anytime soon, but that doesn't rule it out for the future. Like we said earlier, flying cars are going to take a very long time before they hit the mass market. When GM showed off the 3D rendering of their Cadillac electric eVOTL, they did not even mention what time frame they were imagining for the actual release of this product. That means we are looking at years, maybe even a decade before these see wide release. And mass market adoption is probably another decade or 15 years beyond that. Tesla is on their way to a point in the future where they could foreseeably get involved in a flying car industry once they accomplish major goals like producing a truly affordable mass market EV all over the globe and implementing fully autonomous robotaxis. With those things off their plate, it's likely they could shift their focus to the skies, and by that time, their battery tech should be up to the challenge. We've heard Elon say that to realistically power an electric plane, you would need a battery that is capable of at least 400 watt-hours per kilogram. Tesla's battery cell can only muster about 240 watt-hours per kilogram, but their upcoming 4680 battery cell pushes that number to 360. Not quite there, but we're getting very close. So with the next jump in battery development, whatever that is and whenever that comes to pass, that would be the battery that will allow a Tesla to take off and fly through the air, if that is the direction that Elon chooses to go. Let us know what you think about the current state of flying cars. Are you disappointed with the direction they're going or excited to see what the future holds? If you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.